When we were on countdown on Sunday, and the Sixers lost the game, I said immediately that they just cost Doc Rivers his job. I didn't want that to happen, but obviously I had anticipated it. And it's really, really unfortunate. He's been employed as a head coach in the NBA pretty much last 24 years. We know his record, good and bad. We know the success that he's had. We've known there's about 9 other coaches that have won over 1,000 games. We know he's going to be a Hall of Famer. We know all of these things. But we also know that he's lost 10 Game 7s. We understand that. And he's lost the lead on several occasions, a 3-2 lead, a 3-1 lead. And when your team, led by your superstar Joel Embiid and James Harden, are virtual no-shows. I'm sorry, literal no-shows. And not one but 2 consecutive closeout games, a Game 6 in Philadelphia that they could have closed Boston out, a Game 7 in Boston where they got annihilated, and your team flat out quits on you. And then you've got guys like James Harden going on social media and talking about it's about their relationship and what have you. You know, when Doc Rivers lets you go to Vegas during the playoffs, for crying out loud. These are the kind of things where chickens come home to roost. Ultimately, those things are looked upon. You look at what's transpiring. You look at whether or not you got the pulse of players, et cetera, and you decide that you're going to make a change. And remember, Brett Brown got let go because Brett Brown couldn't get them to the conference finals. Doc Rivers knew the mandate was to get out of the second round and to get them to the conference finals. And in 3 consecutive seasons, they came up short. So it's not a surprise, unfortunately.
Stephen A., and then JJ, you can piggyback. Does this move get them closer to the next level? Do you think this was the right decision here?
No, I don't think it was the right decision because I don't think that James Harden is the right player for that franchise, to be quite honest with you. I think that he's lost a step. He's not what he used to be. He led the league in assists. He's still an all-star caliber player. Not to throw any shade on him in that regard, but in big games, he comes up very, very small on far too many occasions. And ultimately, I think that if Doc Rivers had more I don't know what word to use in this particular situation, but somebody that was ready to step up in big moments, I don't think he would have found himself in this situation. That certainly didn't happen, and that's why he's gone.
I think all the time in the NBA, I think all the time about bearing responsibility and taking accountability. Yeah. And I know I had a bunch of teammates that did that. I've had coaches that do that. I certainly tried my best to do that at times. And there's a organizational failure here. It's not just on Doc Rivers.
Right.
You know, the players bear some of this responsibility. Doc obviously does. His coaching staff does. I will say this, whether or not it was the right decision, yeah, I do think it was the right decision. And that's unfortunate. And I think it's the nature of coaching, though. You look at who hold on, Steve, you look at who is on the market right now. Mm-hmm. Doc Rivers, Monty Williams, Coach Bud, Nick Nurse. Those are 4 of the best coaches we have in our sport. Yeah. And they all have now been let go in the last month or so. It's the nature of coaching. It is a results-based business. And I think some of this, you know, specifically with Doc, some of this is about the relationship with the players. Yeah. And once you've lost that, then it becomes the right decision to move on from that. And I'm not speculating at all about what James Harden's future is going to be. I'm talking about this team right now. When you've lost that, yeah, it's the right decision to move on. Well, we see that happen all the time. Sometimes you need a new voice.
Let me say this, a couple of things. I was on the phone immediately after the Sixers lost the game, and we did countdown. I was on the phone with Kevin Hart, obviously a Philly native, big-time 76ers fan. Kevin Hart is a comedian. Kevin Hart makes a living off of making us laugh. I've known him for years. The brother was near tears. I've never heard him that furious in my life. And he was completely and utterly disgusted. And I bring that up because I think it's emblematic of what a lot of people are feeling. And, JJ, you're not wrong with what you're saying. But I think this comes down to this one point. Keep your eyes on this, JJ, because this is very, very important. If Mike D'Antoni emerges as a prime candidate for this Sixers job, which should not happen in my estimation, if Mike D'Antoni, dare I say, ends up getting the Sixers job, with Mark Jackson available, Monty Williams available, Nick Nurse available, Budenholzer available. If Mike D'Antoni gets the job, James Harden went and got Doc Rivers fired. If that happens, that's what happened to Doc Rivers today.
Hey, what's up, guys? Jag from Jaggy Sports here. Breaking news, Doc Rivers fired as head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers. And I kind of had a feeling this would happen because of the fact that Doc Rivers is known for blowing 3-1 leads, 3-0 leads, 3-2 leads, in this case 3-2 leads. So the Sixers were up 3-2, and then the Boston Celtics won Game 6 in Philly when Philadelphia was up, and Game 7, it was just incredible. Game 7, not looking good, and Jason Tatum went off. So Boston Celtics won that game. They're advancing to the conference finals, Eastern Conference Finals, to face the Miami Heat. That's tomorrow night. Tonight is the Lakers versus the Denver Nuggets. But back to the main topic here. Doc Rivers fired. I had a feeling it was going to happen, and obviously it's happened now. So moving on from that, we're going to move on to James Harden. Now, after Boston Celtics defeated the Philadelphia 76ers, James Harden was interviewed and he was asked a question: what is your relationship with Doc Rivers, and do you want to see him back as head coach? And he answered the question saying, yeah, me and Doc Rivers are cool, or we're okay, right? But he didn't answer the question, do you want him back? And then there's, you know how everything on the internet is kind of like rumors here and there, but at the end of the day, everybody's saying that James Harden wants Doc Rivers fired, and obviously this will happen. So now Doc Rivers fired. I don't buy the whole James Harden wanted him fired kind of thing. Not everything you hear is true. So I don't buy that. And the fact that, you know, you had the MVP, he could have got more touches in Game 6. He never got more touches in Game 6. And they did not play well in Game 7. Now, that's what I'm sticking to. That is the reason why he is fired. And now you have to consider a bunch of other coaches. You got Mike Budenholzer, he was fired by the Milwaukee Bucks. Nick Nurse, he was fired by the Toronto Raptors. Monty Williams, he was fired by the Phoenix Suns. Then you have Sam Cassell, who is the assistant coach to the 76ers right now. And surprisingly, you have Mike D'Antoni. Now, the reason why Mike D'Antoni's name keeps coming up is because his success with James Harden. Now, the only problem with that is Mike D'Antoni does not do well with bigs. In this case, Joel Embiid. So I don't think that's going to work, but any of those other 3 coaches or 4 coaches could work. So that's what the 76ers are looking towards. And tell me what you guys think. Who should be the next head coach of the 76ers? And, you know, who's going to win tonight's game, Lakers or the Denver Nuggets? And draft lottery tonight, guys, 5 p.m. Pacific time. That should be good. Anyone can get this guy. You know, it doesn't mean it's 100% going to be the Houston Rockets, the San Antonio Spurs, or anything like that, or Detroit Pistons. It could be anyone. It's all about the luck of the draw. So leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me who you guys think is going to get Wemby, who you guys think is going to win between the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets, and who you think should be the next head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers. Leave a comment in the comment section. This is Jag from Jaggy Sports.